The budget smartwatch space in India is very weird. There are 4-5 big players who just import stuff from China, white label it, that is put their brand on it and sell in big numbers. And that's been going on for quite a few years. It's a very big market over here in India, capitalized by these companies who are not even tech companies, because they just import products, put their brand on it and sell. So they're not really tech companies, only marketing companies. That's why whenever someone asked me for a recommendation for a budget smartwatch, I would recommend a product from a tech company rather than from these marketing companies. And ever so often comes along a smartwatch from a tech company which is very good in this price range. And I'm glad to say that today we are going to talk about such a product. So this is the CMF Watch Pro 2. It's from a brand called CMF, which is a sub-brand of Nothing. Yes, Nothing by Kalpe. We all know that Kalpe started this journey of Nothing by focusing heavily on design, and they brought over a similar philosophy to CMF. CMF has been making budget accessories for the past year or so, and recently they launched a smartphone as well. It's a very interesting smartphone for around 15,000 rupees. I am in the process of currently testing it. That review will come out soon, so make sure you subscribe for that. But yeah, this is their latest smartwatch and it is super interesting for a couple of reasons. See, first and foremost is the design. In the budget smartwatch space, these marketing companies don't really focus a lot on design, but CMF has taken a very different approach. They are focusing heavily on design in this category, which is an awesome thing according to me. The Watch Pro 2 looks very classy and minimal at the same time. That's the sweet spot right there. Classy and minimal. It comes in a couple of colors and strap options. You can go for whatever combination you feel like. I went for this matte grey one because this looks absolutely stunning to me. And the band that comes along with this one is a silicone band, but if you go with the orange or the blue color, those are leather bands, and that's why they are 500 rupees expensive as well. Now, one very interesting part about this design is that you can change the bezel. So yes, the bezel is interchangeable. There are a couple of options in terms of the bezel. There is this flat one which looks absolutely amazing, and then there is this round one which looks interesting. I'm not a fan of the round bezel, but I really like this flat bezel. That's why I went for it. But the point is that you can interchange the bezel. If you get bored of the flat bezel, you can buy the round bezel and just change it and give your watch a new look. Now, I could not find the listing for the bezel as of yet. Maybe they will launch it down the line. As and when they launch it, I'm definitely going to go ahead and buy that replacement bezel. And similarly, the straps can also be interchanged. Now, this is a round watch, which I do prefer. I don't like square watches. The one before this was a square watch. I think they just want to see which one does better. So what do you guys prefer? Let me know about that in the comments down below. A round watch or a square watch? Now, the Watch Pro 2 is also very well built. It does not feel cheap at all. It is made out of metal, very smooth and premium. Also, the display is great. It's a 1.3 inches AMOLED display and it's one of the better displays out there in the market. The viewing angles are great, the colors are good, and it gets bright enough to use in outdoor sunny conditions. And it is smooth as well. Like whenever I'm scrolling, swiping, navigating through the UI, the FPS doesn't drop. Now, CMF have carried over the design philosophy in the UI as well. Like the UI has a lot of character. It doesn't feel like a generic UI, which is the case with a lot of the other smartwatches in this price category. It feels like a UI that has been designed for this smartwatch. We'll start with the watch faces first. You can see that there are a lot of options in terms of watch faces, and all of these watch faces have been designed properly. It's not like they've taken generic watch faces. The watch faces match the aesthetic of the watch, and that is a super important thing to do. So kudos to the CMF team over here. They've done a good job in terms of the watch faces. And some of the watch faces are also dynamic. That means you can change the widget on the watch face. For example, if you want a step counter or your battery percentage or your kilocalories, whatever, you can change the widget as well. So you get a combination of dynamic and static watch faces. You can go with whatever you want. I find that to be super impressive, especially for this price point. And the entire UI feels refreshing. It is minimal design at its core. The fonts, colors, widgets, icons, everything has been customized, and it fits very well together in the aesthetic of this watch. Also, there are widgets that you can customize. So when you swipe from the watch face, there are a bunch of widgets that you can customize according to you. If you want to see specific data, for example, your heart rate, steps, whatever, then you can customize the widget page according to you. And there are gestures as well. So there is this twisting gesture, shaking gesture, and you can customize these gestures as well. For example, I have kept the twisting gesture to answer calls. Whenever I get a call, I can just twist my wrist and answer that call. and whenever the call is done, I can again twist my wrist to end that call. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. This smartphone does have Bluetooth calling. I tried making some calls with this smartwatch and the experience is good. It's not the best out there, but it's not the worst either. I am not a person who will answer calls on smartwatches, but if you are that person, then you can do that with this smartwatch. I mean, I won't judge you if you take calls from your smartwatch. Some people might, but I won't. And the Watch Pro 2 is a full-fledged smartwatch with all the sensors. So you get a pedometer, heart rate sensor, SpO2 sensor, and also built-in GPS, which means that you don't have to carry your smartphone around if you're going for a walk or run. You can just take the smartwatch, it has built-in GPS, and it will work really well. In fact, I did that. I took this smartwatch for my evening walk and it worked really well. Initially, it took time to find GPS, but once it did, it worked really well. And the step tracking was also accurate. It was about a 30 minutes walk and showed my steps as about 3,500, and that is like 95% accurate. You also get a bunch of sports modes: walking, running, cycling, swimming, whatever you want. Now, I'd like to mention one thing over here, that the UI is very smooth, does not lag a bit. It is fast and responsive. So that is one thing that I really appreciate about this smartwatch. Doesn't feel slow at all in terms of performance. Now, the CMF Watch Pro 2 connects to your smartphone via the CMF Watch app, and the Watch app is not that stable. First of all, it has very bad reviews on the Play Store, and I also found some bugs here and there. Like when I was pairing this smartwatch, it didn't pair in the first instance. It took a couple of tries and then it paired with the app. So I feel that CMF should work on the app and make it more stable. It is a very well designed and good app. You can control everything about the smartwatch from the app. If you want to change watch faces, settings, whatever, you can change that from the app. But I feel that they need to work on that. They need to make it more stable. You can also get all your notifications right on the wrist. You obviously can customize which notifications you want. For example, if you don't want WhatsApp notifications, just turn that off from the app. Now, one very interesting design element is this crown. The crown is actually working. You can navigate through the UI by rotating the crown up and down. And it also doubles as an action button. You can use the button for a number of things. It feels tactile and has a good feedback. So, all in all, for rupees 5,000, the CMF Watch Pro 2 brings a breath of fresh air in this stagnant market. That is exactly the reason why I ordered this smartwatch and decided to review it. If you have any questions about this watch, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. If you liked what you saw, then make sure to hit that like button. If you found the content worthwhile, subscribe to the channel because it would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.